situation with Luka's hamstring?
We'll do an MRI tomorrow, left hamstring. We'll know more tomorrow.
When it comes out just the beginning of that game, the intensity Oklahoma City brought, what do you think was the immediate moment in the game that kind of just...
I don't know that there was an immediate moment. I thought when the game started, we frankly had like unforced turnovers. They had a lot more shots on goal to start the game. They made Lu Dort, coming out making threes was big. We settled in offensively in the second quarter, but just could never really get it going defensively for us. And that was on a night when, Shea played 30 minutes and took 25 shots and scored 28 points, did a good job of not keeping him off the free throw line. But, he's going to get his, and those other guys, they made a lot of threes. And then the turnovers, obviously they killed us, and we were, better in the second half. But the 8 turnovers in the first quarter really hurt us.
Came back, obviously, but what kind of update do you have on how he's doing? He was
in a weird position, stretching for a basketball, loose ball, and just felt something like intercostal, somewhere in his back, in between the ribs. He was able to play through it and battle back, but we'll see how he feels tomorrow.
I don't know if you got to talk to Luka, but just kind of how are his spirits if you were able to talk to him after he left?
I haven't spoken, other than words of encouragement.
You mentioned that Luka's going to have a MRI tomorrow. I've noticed that he was grabbing at the hamstring. I think it was late in the first half. Did he say anything about that, or was that picked up?
Oh yeah, we checked him out. He got work done. He was cleared. I mean, we're not going to put a player at risk. Those things happen.
JJ, what is sort of an understanding that you guys aren't going to put players at risk? You have guys that want to be out there, and want to play, want to compete, particularly, I would imagine, in a game like this. As you see these guys getting banged up, like throughout the course of the night, is there a thought to maybe going for another day because of where you guys are at in the season?
Going for a Navy?
Day, sorry.
Going for another day.
Yeah, waiting. Like you said, Austin was grabbing at it in the first half, grabbed at it the second time he was out there. Is there a thought that it's maybe not worth it to play him tonight, considering you guys are 2 weeks away?
It was discussed at halftime. Thought we'd give those guys about 6 minutes, and then we were going to, if we didn't cut into the lead, we were going to pull them. And obviously it was around that time that, I don't remember the exact time, but that happened.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
So again, like I said, Luka Doncic grabbing that hamstring, went back to the locker room at the third, did not return. They're saying he will get an MRI on Friday. So again, we sit here and we wait for the news on that, hoping that it's a good thing. JJ did say that he was getting worked on at halftime and was cleared to return to play.
Yeah, look, they have the medical staff that really monitors all these injuries and nagging injuries, and I'm sure it's up to the player after they do the physical therapy and all that stuff. They ask him if he can go, and apparently he said he could, but it looked like he totally re-aggravated right there, and it's going to cause him to, get an MRI and see where we go from there. But sometimes you just don't know. Sometimes you feel good, and you want to try to push it, and then something aggravates it once again, and then you have the situation that he has now.
Yeah, MRI is always a tricky thing. It's a very expensive machine. They don't have them at any arenas. They have x-rays. So if you think you busted your pinky, boom, you just walk next door to the locker room. They'll take some film of it and say it's broken or it's not. When you're talking MRI for ligaments or muscles, that's more of a production. So I'll have to go somewhere locally. I'm sure the Dallas team doctors will recommend where Luka can go in Dallas tomorrow, and he'll get it checked out. Hamstrings are tricky. They can be... it could be a week, it could be 6 weeks. And I'm not saying at all what Luka's diagnosis is going to be. He could play next game if it's not that bad. So maybe not even a week. But, you've got to see what the MRI says. And, there's 3 levels. There's grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 hamstring strains. And hopefully we'll have more info tomorrow. And there's no rush to play against the Mavs. I don't want to disrespect them, but, you know, they're not a great team. Obviously, they've long been out of the playoffs. And maybe they just say, let's think about 5 days from now. Maybe Luka comes back for the rematch here in LA against OKC.
Yeah, so we will all wait word on that. The MRI for Luka Doncic and his hamstring is on Friday. Having said that, let's turn our attention from one MVP candidate to an MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. A big game on a night where he really just had to kind of do his thing. He ended with 28. He was a plus 35 on 12 of 25 shooting. SGA, pretty smooth.
Not only is he a great player, most valuable player, but he's a leader. You know, he's a really good leader. He knows how to ignite his team. You know, he made some great passes early in the game, got guys involved. But getting downhill and getting to his spots is what he's known for. And look, sometimes you don't have to dominate the game. You don't have to score. You just have to be on the court. You know, making passes, you know, whatever you have to do to get your teammates involved. And I think when he's on the floor, I think his teammates, you know, they feel that vibe out there, and he's just a great leader, whether he's dominating with scoring or whether he's passing or just being on the court with his teammates.
James, he took 25 shots. I mean, he was pumping up a shot a minute, and why not? I mean, you know, the Thunder had so many more offensive rebounds than the Lakers, so many more turnovers, forced so many more turnovers than the Lakers did. Just extra possessions is what that is. You know, you could argue it's kind of like, to use a hockey analogy, I felt like OKC was on the power play that entire first quarter, maybe even the entire first half, James. I mean, they were just that outstanding, the way they forced the turnovers and then buried a lot of threes, too. It was really a double whammy for the Lakers in that first 12 minutes. Hard to recover from the start like that on the road against obviously a very, very good OKC team.
It is just an interesting thing when you look at the box score and you see, as we mentioned, all but one guy scored, but every guy for the Thunder attempted at least a shot.
Yeah.
Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had their respective teams. They combined 29 and 3 in the month of March. So we take a look at the numbers for the two MVP candidates. Luka leading the league at nearly 34 points a game. Shai not too far behind at 31.6 points. SGA more efficient from the field and from range. Luka leading Shai in points and rebounds, but SGA's Thunder also have the league's best record. So when two guys became, specifically Luka and Shai, you know they want to be the best versions of themselves, especially when they go up against one another. This probably, here down the stretch, something that they circle on the calendar. Mm-hmm. What do you kind of expect to see from these two?
You know, I can remember when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson paid so much attention to one another. After every game, Magic would want to look at the stats and see what Boston did as we look forward to playing them. Not overlooking anybody, but I could see Shai has won a championship, and he was MVP as well. So he's looking to do back-to-back in both categories, I believe. Was he MVP last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's looking to go back-to-back. Now you have Luka, who's played in the finals, gone through a trade and all that stuff, having a really good season. Hell yeah, there's some noticeability there that especially Luka notices that Shai has already achieved and still ahead of him at this moment. So it's a team game, but the great ones, yeah, they are aware of where each other are.
James, I have voted on this award in the past when I was at the LA Times, and I don't understand the odds for it right now. Allie, if you put $100 on Luka to win the MVP, you're going to win $2,000. If you put 100 on Wemby, you win only $250. If you put 100 on Shai, you win about $30.
It's crazy.
Plus your bet back. So that's how big of a favorite Shai is. And frankly, I can't comprehend it. I know OKC's been great all season, wire to wire. They've had the best record in the league. San Antonio's starting to chase them a little bit. Maybe that's why Wemby is getting some attention. But the fact that Luka is third, which sounds great on paper, but such a distant third, yeah, it continues to boggle my mind, especially after that March that he just had. And here's some, these are from a different sports book than I was looking at, but even here, it's worse for Luka. If you put 100 down, you win $3,000. Better for you if you make that bet, obviously, but it just shows like how far Luka is behind this group, and it's got to be wins and losses, James. It really has to be, and I've said that before on the air. The first thing that voters for this award look for, including me back in the day, who are the best teams in the league, and then, okay, who are their best players? And with the Lakers being 10 games behind OKC, that's got to be it, James, because I can't figure it out.
They need to change it. If that's it, they need to change it and look, more into it, more analytically, and see how, the impact that Luka's had, how he's playing, the consistency, the efficiency, and the impact that he's had. I know Shea's great, but it can't be. I mean, if an individual is playing so well, if they were like in 6 or somewhere down there, but they've emerged to 3rd, and they've taken care of some tiebreakers, and they've, and so I think they need to change it if that's the thing that they're looking at when they judge it.
I mean, it's human nature, right? I mean, how many times has an MVP come from a team that's not 1st, 2nd, or 3rd in their own conference? Obviously, the Lakers are 3rd in the West, but it's really rare that a guy, Jokic won it when Denver was in 6th a few years ago. These things can happen. Russ was on a not-so-great team, and he won it when he averaged a triple-double. But I just don't get the discrepancy. Again, great. You're the bronze medalist right now if you're in 3rd in the voting or in the gambling odds, but it's just, it blows my mind that he's that far behind odds-wise.
One thing's for sure, the top 3 teams are winning at a very high clip and pretty equally, because I just mentioned that the Lakers and the Thunder 29-3 combined in the month of March. If you add the San Antonio Spurs, which is Wemby obviously there in the second slot of MVP voting, you would have a record combined of those 3 teams of 43-5 between 1, 2, and 3 in the Western Conference.
Peaking.
So as you see, Luka is sitting at the 3 spot. If you had an opportunity to make a case for Luka Doncic being MVP, how would you make it? What would you say?
Well, Brez is the stat guy. He's probably in 1st in a lot of categories the last month.
Yeah, including steals, too. It's been outstanding.
And that's the other thing, too. His defense